There's a number that should be keeping you up at night: 92%. According to GitHub's latest report, that's how many developers are already using AI to write code. And if you're a product manager, a designer, a QA engineer, that number isn't just a statistic, it's the sound of a countdown clock. A clock ticking on. Your relevance, your job, your entire career. It feels like the world is moving on and you're about to be left behind. But you're not. You're just looking at the wrong clock. That 92% isn't a threat, it's the starting gun for the single biggest opportunity you've had in a decade. For the last 30 years, creating software meant you had to be a mechanic. You had to know how to build the engine, piece by painful piece. That's what coding is. But now a new capability is here, something called vibe coding. And to have vibe coding explained simply, it's less like being a mechanic and more like being a driver. You don't need to know how the engine works to drive a car. You just need a clear destination. Vibe coding means you describe the destination, the vibe of the product you want, and the AI acts as the engine, generating the entire application for you. This shift makes the most valuable skill in tech no longer the ability to write code, but the ability to have great ideas and a clear vision. And over the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you how this shift is creating two brand new six-figure career paths: the AI Product Builder and the AI Systems Orchestrator. We'll start with a PM named Anna, who used this to add $70,000 to her salary without writing a single line of production code. Her entire journey began the moment she realized the rules of building software had changed forever. The car analogy is a useful start, but I know what you're thinking. It still sounds like magic. Let me know in the comments, does this feel more like science fiction or the near future to you? How can a few sentences of plain English possibly become a real functioning application? Your skepticism is fair, because for 3 decades the rule was simple: building software is hard. Let's break that rule. Picture a product manager. Instead of writing a massive spec document for an engineer, she opens a tool like Vercel's v0.app. This is step 1, the prompt. She doesn't write code, she describes an outcome. She types, a to-do list app with the ability to add, edit, and delete tasks. Each task needs a priority flag. That's it. Simple, plain English. Step 2 is the AI agent. On screen, you see the AI begin to work, like a digital assistant assembling a product in real time. It's processing her request, selecting the right front-end components, arranging them logically on the page, and wiring up the basic functionality. It's not just spitting out random code, it's interpreting the intent behind her words. And then, step 3, the result. Seconds later, an interactive user interface appears. There's an input box to add a new task, a list to display those tasks, and buttons to edit or delete them. It's a real clickable prototype. But this isn't the magic. The part that changes everything is what comes next. It's not a one-way command, it's a conversation. Our PM looks at the result and thinks, it's good, but it's not quite right. So she starts the loop again, refining it. She types, change the primary button color to a vibrant blue, and the button instantly changes. Add a search bar above the list to filter tasks, and a search bar appears. This is the core mechanic you need to understand. Prompt, AI generates, human refines. You are steering, not building. And the moment you feel that power, the first mistake you'll want to make is putting Vibe Coder on your resume. Do not do that. Let's be crystal clear. Vibe Coder is not a real job title. It's media hype. And anyone telling you to put it on your resume is missing the entire point. To understand why, we need to meet Tom. Tom is a good product manager, but he's stuck in the old world. Picture him in a conference room, presenting a perfect 20-page specification document. Every edge case is covered, every user flow is meticulously mapped out. It's a masterpiece of planning. But after the meeting, it becomes just another ticket in a Jira backlog. We see a calendar on screen and the weeks start ticking by. 1 week, 3 weeks, 5 weeks. He's stuck, waiting for engineering capacity that never seems to come. Then, one morning, a notification pops up on his phone. A competitor has just launched the exact feature he designed 2 months ago. And in that moment, Tom isn't a product visionary. He's a ticket writer, powerless and slow. Does Tom's situation sound familiar? If you've ever had a great idea die in a backlog, drop a me too in the comments. I think we'll see a lot of them. Tom's problem wasn't a lack of vision, it was a lack of leverage. He was trapped in a system that creates a massive gap between ideas and execution. Vibe Coder isn't a title you chase, it's the capability you build to escape Tom's trap. It's about closing that gap between your idea and a product someone can actually test. Tom was trapped because he couldn't see the new career path this capability was creating. To help you see exactly where you fit in, I've created a one-page AI career path cheat sheet. It maps your current role, whether you're a PM, QA, or a dev, to these new AI-centric titles and the skills you need. You can grab it for free at the link in the description. Tom was trapped, but Anna learned how to break out. Anna is a PM earning $115,000 a year, and she feels exactly like Tom. She's more of a document writer than a product builder, her best ideas dying a slow death in a backlog she can't control. But one afternoon, instead of writing another ticket, she decides to try something different. She opens a tool like v0.app and types a prompt for a new feature she's been dreaming about for months. Her first attempts are a complete disaster. She tries using a general tool like the latest chat GPT, asking it to build her feature. It spits out disconnected blocks of code. She tries to piece them together, but it's like being handed the parts of an engine without a manual. The AI doesn't understand the context of a full application. It just gives her isolated snippets. Frustrated, she closes the laptop. She thinks, this is just another toy for developers. It's not for me. It feels like another dead end. And let's be honest, who here hasn't felt that exact same frustration with a new tool? That moment you think, this just isn't for me. A week passes. But then she sees a demo of an AI native tool, one built specifically for this workflow, and something clicks. For her, this was more than a demo. This was vibe coding explained in a way that mattered. She realized the problem wasn't the concept, it was using the wrong tool for the job. She starts again, this time with a simple prompt. Create a user dashboard that shows project status, upcoming deadlines, and recent activity. A basic layout appears. It's functional, but bland. So she refines it. Make the project status a color coded pill: green for on track, yellow for at risk, red for late. The dashboard updates instantly. Add a search bar at the top that filters all three sections. It appears. Now, make the design cleaner, more like Stripe's dashboard. The entire aesthetic shifts. In a single afternoon, she has built a working, interactive version of an idea that had been sitting in the backlog for 6 months. This is her career leverage moment. She's not asking for permission anymore. She's not waiting in a queue. By the end of the day, she is in a Zoom call, sharing her screen, and testing a real idea with real users. So, what makes this new skill so valuable? According to Product School, AI product manager roles now command the total compensation that often lands between $180,000 and $260,000. Why such a massive premium? Because people like Anna are no longer just managing backlogs, they are shipping. They have become a self contained product engine capable of taking an idea from concept to a testable reality in days, not months. And companies are paying an enormous premium for that speed and autonomy. 6 months after her breakthrough, Anna accepts a new role. Her title is now AI Product Manager. Her new offer letter shows a total compensation of $187,000. She didn't get a $70,000 raise by getting better at writing tickets. She got it by becoming an AI product builder, someone whose value is measured in shipped ideas, not completed documents. She stopped asking for permission to build and just built. That's the power to climb the corporate ladder. But what about the power to build your own? For decades, the answer was the same: find a technical co founder or raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. Vibe coding changes that equation entirely. This capability isn't just creating a new corporate career path, it's enabling a new generation of AI assisted founders. Imagine the classic startup journey, but compressed from months into a single weekend. It starts with an idea on a napkin. But instead of translating that into a pitch deck to find an engineer, the founder now describes that idea to an AI. They watch as a functional minimum viable product, an MVP, appears on their screen. The next day, they're in a coffee shop showing that live working prototype to potential customers. They aren't asking, can you imagine if it did this? They're letting people click, use it, and feel it. The new superpower is this. When a customer gives feedback, the founder doesn't say, great idea, I'll add it to the roadmap for next quarter. They can open the tool, refine the prompt based on that feedback, and show an updated version minutes later. This creates a tight, rapid loop. Idea to vibe coded MVP to real user feedback to immediate iteration. The barrier to entry for starting a tech company hasn't disappeared, but it has been radically lowered. You can build and test a real business idea by yourself. This is incredibly empowering. But it also raises a huge, uncomfortable question for the developers in our audience. If PNs and founders can build apps themselves, are you being replaced? For the developers watching, is this a fear you've had? Let me know your honest take on this shift below. For any developer watching, this is not a theoretical question, it's a genuine fear. You see an AI generate simple boilerplate code, the kind of code that used to take up a third of your day, and a pit forms in your stomach. Your job has always been turning specifications into code, and now a machine is doing it. Let's not pretend that isn't a terrifying thought. But the data shows the exact opposite of replacement. It shows an evolution. The scene shifts. The developer is no longer staring at a screen of simple functions. They're at a whiteboard, but they aren't drawing database schemas. They're designing a complex system of interacting AI agents. They're deciding which tools a reasoning agent should have, how a validation agent checks its work, and how the entire system recovers from an error. They've stopped being the musicians playing a single instrument. They have become the conductor of an entire AI orchestra. This is the emergence of the AI Systems Orchestrator. And this isn't just a title change. It's a fundamental up-leveling of the role with compensation to match. According to Built-in, the average base salary for an AI engineer in the US is now $184,000. The total compensation reaches an average of $211,000. The job isn't gone. It has become more valuable. Your job is no longer to write boilerplate code. Your new, more critical job is to design, orchestrate, and secure the complex AI systems that people like Anna can now use to build and test ideas faster than ever before. This shift from coder to orchestrator is the single biggest transition happening in software engineering today. If you're navigating your own path to becoming an AI orchestrator, make sure you're subscribed because our next video breaks down the LangGraph versus Crew AI debate for building production-grade agentic systems. You won't want to miss it. So whether you're an aspiring AI product builder like Anna or an evolving AI systems orchestrator, the journey starts with a single step, and you can take it tonight. Right now, you might be feeling inspired, but also a little overwhelmed. You've seen the new career paths, the salaries, the potential. The question is, what do you actually do? Where do you begin? The answer is to start smaller than you think. The goal isn't to build a perfect app on your first try. The goal is to have your first conversation with an AI that builds. To feel that moment where your words become a tangible thing on the screen. So here is your first step tonight. Go to v0.app, sign in for free, and in the prompt box, take one simple idea, a to-do list, a personal blog, a landing page for a fictional product, and just describe it. Don't try to be perfect. Don't overthink it. Just see what it builds for you. That 92% statistic we started with isn't a countdown clock on your career. It's an invitation to stop waiting and start building. And that is how you accept.